What's good people, and welcome back to the channel Crewboy Productions. My name is BK, and this is the Silly Nerdy and Wordy Podcast, episode 61, my nerdy Star Wars celebration recap. And in this episode, I'm going to be telling you about what I thought about the recent Star Wars celebration Japan 2025, April 18th to April 20th, and a little bit about Revenge of the Sith. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing very well. I am glad to be back about doing another episode, and I'm going to be talking some things about Star Wars, one of my favorite IPs, and talking about Star Wars Celebration. But before I talk about Star Wars Celebration, I want to talk about Revenge of the Sith. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. It is the 20-year anniversary, and it's great, and it's back in theaters for a limited time, for about a week, and I just was able to see it, and it was just so great to see Star Wars on a big screen, particularly that movie. It's just left me feeling with a good feeling. I enjoyed the movie, and it's just so great to see it. And then shout out to obviously the writer, director, George Lucas, of all things Star Wars, and also the great composer, John Williams. He's done a lot of things, but he's done a lot of things in Star Wars. And just to hear his music again, all of the different themes and the music and the score from the beginning, the opening crawl, and all throughout, just great to hear it again. And of course, the story, we all know how it goes. Anakin turns to the dark side, and just seeing it just left me feeling good. I enjoyed myself and happy to see it in theaters again. And yeah, had a great time with it. Now I'm going to talk about a Star Wars Celebration. Of course, what is Star Wars Celebration? So for those of you that don't know, a Star Wars Celebration is a convention. So think of it as San Diego Comic-Con. It happens every year in San Diego, for a variety of things, for comic books, and different studios come there to not only talk about the different and upcoming projects, to show footage, to show trailers, panels, comic books, paraphernalia, art, all of that from all the different genres, whether it's Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, and a whole bunch of different IPs, film, not just movies, but TV shows. So that's what San Diego Comic-Con. But Star Wars Celebration is all things Star Wars, everything. So it has those same things I mentioned about showing footage, showing trailers, having specific panels, but it's all focused on Star Wars, all the different mediums, whether it's in the theaters, about movies, about TV shows, about animation, about publishing, books, art, whether it's paintings, pictures, Funko Pops, t-shirts, just different types of things, cups, whatever you can think of, paraphernalia, all the different types of art and shows and celebrities coming by. So this year it was in Japan, and it looked like, to me, was a solid Star Wars celebration. So that is what I'm going to be talking about. But before I get into it, I want to kind of explain my way of talking about Star Wars. I like Star Wars, as you can see. I love Star Wars. You can see my background has a picture of Star Wars in terms of the prequel films. I'm not as well versed in Star Wars as others. I'm not as detailed in it, knowing things from a very granular way in terms of explaining everything, in terms of all the planets, all the droids, all the different types of ships, and things that are happening in the different types of time frames, and what happened to this person and that person, the reason for that. So I feel like I know some stuff, but I don't know everything, and there's some channels that explain that well. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm explaining it in my own way. So if I don't know something in particular, because I just don't know, but I like to say I'm a Star Wars fan, slightly more than casual, because I pay attention to everything that happens, both in front and off the camera, studios, and what happened at Lucasfilm. So there are other channels that explain things very well. So I just want to shout out some of the channels that I really enjoy and subscribe to and follow. Channels like Star Wars Explained. I love how they do things. They do stuff very well, very, very detailed, and even the publishing. And then also want to shout out Thor Skywalker and Thor Skywalker Plus. The two of them, I love them explaining things, going into detail, and the chemistry they have, and the little bit of comedy that they do from time to time, and going deep in details. They're doing great stuff over there at that channel, especially explaining Andor and their love of Andor, because I love Andor too. So they have more detailed explanation of Star Wars. I still have a passion for Star Wars just as they do, but I have my own way of doing it. So just wanted to do that. So with that, let's talk about Star Wars Celebration. This time around, it was in Japan. Took place from April 18th through Sunday, April 20th. And for me, I'm just going to focus. I'm not going to talk about everything that happened. And also preface this by saying I've never been to a Star Wars celebration. I hope one day I'll be able to go to one. So possibly, I know the next one is going to be in Los Angeles in 2027. So hopefully I'll be able to go to that one, maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to talk about a few things, the movies and the animation. They talked about the upcoming film, The Mandalorian Grogu. So that's coming to theaters in May 2026, around Memorial Day. There was a trailer shown to the audience there in Japan at Star Wars Celebration. That trailer was not released officially to the public. Of course, there are leaks online and you can find it wherever you want to. If you want to, I haven't. I'm just choosing to wait until I see the official trailer release from Star Wars, from Lucasfilm, from Disney. So, but I've seen it out a little bit, some stills. It's out there. But yeah, they showed that to the audience there, and from all the different channels and people that were there describing it, it seems like it's going to be a good time. Seems like it's going to be epic. And just hearing some of the Heron Favreau and Filoni, and of course they had Pedro Pascal there, they had Sigourney Weaver there, talking about it at Celebration as I was watching the live streams. It seems like it's going to be a good time. It's going to be epic. It's going to be some battles there. But we are about a year out from that film, so we should not expect to see that official trailer, whatever trailer they choose to release, a teaser trailer from then until about 6 months out from the movie. That's typically how it works for all movies, I would say. So maybe around December, possibly January, we'll get our first teaser trailer, and possibly maybe they'll decide to show one around in the Super Bowl, whether they decide to spend the money to have a Super Bowl ad, or maybe they won't do so. Maybe they'll release it the day before the Super Bowl, or just release it on the Super Bowl, just release it online and not decide to pay the money for having a spot in the Super Bowl, because that money increases every year. I believe this recent Super Bowl, it was about $8 million for a 30-second spot to have a commercial there. So it depends if they want to do that, but that is a possibility of them showing a trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu. And then the other movie we know it's coming, we hope it's coming, is in 2027. And that is Star Wars Starfighter. And that is going to be directed by Sean Levy. Of course, Sean Levy has directed recently Deadpool and Wolverine. He also directed Free Guy back in 2021. And they had Sean and Ryan Gosling. He's going to be the lead in that film. They were at Star Wars Celebration in Japan. So the fact that both of them were there, and he verbally said, I'm paraphrasing, but they're not in pre-production. They've gone through that. So they are ready to start filming as of the fall of 2025. So in a few months, they are ready to start shooting this film. So the fact that they were there, and the fact that they got Ryan Gosling was there, and he was talking about how excited he was about the script, about it has, good story, good heart, good action. And it takes place in a different time period, a new time period, 5 years after episode 9. So it's going to have all new characters, new places, new planets to visit. So that is exciting that they're going to a different time period, all about that. It's good to kind of revisit previous places, but it's good to just explore new places in Star Wars, because there's so much to go into, so many more places to go as opposed to just staying within the Skywalker saga. So, but it looks like we'll be getting that in May 2027. Of course, I'll wait until we get a little bit closer to that, but it is a good sign that the fact that they were in Japan as they revealed the logo and the name of the film. So we'll see if that stays on track for a 2027 release. And then the other movies they talked about, they're all still in development, in the works. I won't really go into them. So that's still, like I said, in development. So we'll wait until we get a little bit more with that. And then, what else can I say? Yeah, I also mentioned that it has Sigourney Weaver there and Pedro Pascal there live in Japan, talking to the people there. And then going on to the animation. That's something I want to talk about. It was an animation panel, lots of panels there, and lots of things announced. And for me, Star Wars animation has been very, very good over the years. It's some of the best storytelling has happened within the animation medium of Star Wars. Whether you're talking about Clone Wars or the Tales, and even those shorts, those Disney shorts that are a couple minutes and all the characters interacting, those were pretty good as well. So, but anyways, Star Wars Celebration focused on, we're going to get obviously Star Wars Visions Season 3. And I love anime. That's I've watched anime for many, many, many years. And we already knew we were getting Season 3. It's just that now we're going to just have to wait a little bit longer. We're going to have to wait until October 29th, 2025 to get the next batch of episodes from Vision Season 3. It's going to be 3 returning stories from Vision Season 1 and or 2. And then we're going to get 6 brand new stories. And they showed some screenshots. They showed some concept art. And they also showed short, quick previews as well during the live stream. Maybe they showed a full episode there for those that were in attendance. So all of those look good. One of the ones that's returning is The Duel from Vision Season 1. That one was a really good one, so I'm excited to see that. And then also about Visions, they're going to be giving one of the particular stories from Vision Season 1 a longer form, meaning multiple episodes, and that is The Ninth Jedi. And from what I remember, they had I don't have his name, but he was kind of like I want to say executive producer or the showrunner, kind of the leader along with his team, but he's the one that is working with all the different studios and getting them together along with other people he's working with from Lucasfilm to search these studios and work with them. But I want to say, I'm paraphrasing, you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe he said there's going to be like potentially six new episodes with this Jedi series that is coming to Disney Plus in 2026. I could be wrong, but nonetheless, it's going to be a long form than just the one episode. So it could be anywhere from 6 to 9 episodes or 12 or so. So that's very exciting. And I just recently rewatched that anime short for The Ninth Jedi, and the way it ended, it definitely left the door open to tell different stories in terms of how to go about saving the girl's father and finding those other Jedi that she made her father made those lightsabers for. And just rewatching it again, it was really good. So I'm glad that they're doing a longer form story for that episode. We're getting a new longer form animation, which is a Darth Maul series. It's called Maul Shadow Lord. And that's going to be coming in 2026. And Sam Witwer is returning to voice Darth Maul. So that is very, very exciting. Of course, he voiced Darth Maul for all those years in the Clone Wars. And all the information we got, at least from what I had seen on StarWars.com, in terms of the information about the series, it takes place in after the final season of the Clone Wars. And Maul rises again to lead underworld factions. And from the descriptions I saw, the people covering Star Wars Celebration, they show some footage of it. And there is a Twi'lek that seems to be an apprentice of Darth Maul, so he looks like he may have an apprentice. But it's exciting to get more Star Wars animation. Of course, we have been waiting for that since the Bad Batch Season 3 ended. And of course, we are getting Tales of the Underworld on Star Wars Day, May 4th, with 3 episodes about Asajj Ventress and 3 episodes about Cad Bane. That'll be on May 4th, but it's exciting to get this new Darth Maul series. Hopefully it will be multiple seasons. Who knows how many episodes it will be. Could be anywhere from 6, 12, 13, 18 episodes. Hopefully it's longer episodes, but we'll see. So that's what we're getting from Star Wars Animation. And I believe that's it. Of course, there are many other things at Star Wars Celebration, lots of panels, the publishing, finishing up the High Republic, and celebrating other things. But those are the things I wanted to focus on, was the upcoming movies in 2026 and hopefully 2027. And then the animation coming later this year and next year. And yeah, that's all I have for you. Again, I'm not the most detailed Star Wars fan, but I do love Star Wars very much. I have a nice chunk of Star Wars things, but those are the things that I wanted to mention about Star Wars. I'm hoping I can go, hopefully the next time around, and maybe see stuff in person and get into some of those panels and get a bunch of artwork to bring back with me, and just to go to LA too. But what else do I want to cover? I think that's going to be all for today. So I hope you like what you've heard today. Hope I was able to give you a break from life. And if you like what I'm doing here, subscribe to the channel. Follow the podcast anywhere we get your podcast. We are on Spotify as well. That is it for today. So, until next time, we will talk soon.